You think stupid people are easier to control. That is the first mistake.
Not true.
The truly dangerous person to control is the intelligent one. Because a foolish mind can be defeated by facts. A sharp mind can defend itself against facts. Give an intelligent person a lie, and he may reject it. Give him a lie that protects his identity, and he may build an entire philosophy around it. This is where François de La Rochefoucauld becomes uncomfortable. He understood that the ego does not always appear as arrogance. Sometimes it wears humility, sometimes morality, sometimes independence, sometimes intelligence itself. And once the ego finds a respectable disguise, you stop noticing it. You start calling it reason. Think about the last argument you lost. Did you really defend the truth? Or did you defend the version of yourself that needed to be right? Think about the last person you rejected. Was it because they were wrong for you? Or because their presence threatened the way you wanted to see yourself? And here is where this becomes dangerous. There are 3 psychological traps that intelligent people fall into more easily than they realize. The first makes you predictable. The second makes you defend people who do not deserve your loyalty. And the third is so subtle that you may already be inside it while watching this video. But there is something even more disturbing. Near the end, we will uncover the one form of ego that can survive even after you believe you have mastered your ego. That is the trap sharp thinkers almost never see coming. Because the greatest threat to your judgment may not be another person's intelligence, power, or manipulation. It may be your own need to believe that you are too intelligent to be fooled. Number 1. The ego is the first person you fail to see. Most people think intelligence protects them from manipulation. It does not. Sometimes, intelligence makes the trap harder to escape. The sharper the mind, the more convincing the story it can build around itself. A person can lie to you, but a clever person can do something far more dangerous. He can make you believe your own lie. François de La Rochefoucauld understood this weakness centuries before social media turned human approval into a permanent marketplace. He looked past what people said they wanted and asked a colder question. What do they secretly need to believe about themselves? The generous person may need to feel superior. The humble person may need recognition for being humble. The person who claims to hate attention may still measure every room by whether anyone notices them. And this creates the first paradox. The ego does not always demand applause. Sometimes it demands innocence. Sometimes it demands the identity of being the good one, the intelligent one, the victim, the rebel, or the person who sees through everyone. That is where the trap begins. Because if you cannot detect the ego hiding inside your virtues, someone else eventually will. And the most dangerous person in the room may not be the person trying to control you. It may be the person who understands what you desperately want to believe about yourself. Number 2. People defend identities before they defend truth. Watch an argument carefully and something strange happens. Facts enter the room, but identities decide which facts are allowed to stay. A manager receives criticism and immediately searches for flaws in the employee delivering it. A politician is confronted with evidence and changes the subject. Someone loses an argument online, and suddenly the discussion becomes an attack on character. Why? Because the human mind often experiences a challenge to identity as a threat. If admitting the truth means becoming a different version of yourself, the ego will negotiate with reality before it surrenders. Modern technology has amplified this dramatically. Algorithms do not merely show people information. They repeatedly show them versions of themselves they already recognize. The result is a strange psychological fortress. Your opinions become evidence of your intelligence. Your tribe becomes evidence of your morality. Your enemies become proof that you are right. But here is the twist. The more intelligent you are, the more sophisticated your defenses can become. A foolish person may simply refuse the evidence. A brilliant person can produce 20 reasons why the evidence does not count. And that leads to a deeper question. If intelligence can become the servant of ego, what happens when the ego discovers that it can disguise itself as reason? Number 3. The need to be right can make you predictable. There is a hidden weakness behind certainty. It makes you easy to anticipate. Imagine a negotiation between two executives. One desperately needs to appear decisive. The other notices it. Suddenly, every delayed response becomes uncomfortable. Every pause feels like weakness. Every disagreement feels personal. The first executive thinks he is demonstrating strength, but his ego has already exposed the map of his behavior. This is one of the uncomfortable lessons hidden inside La Rochefoucauld's observations about human nature. People often reveal themselves through the things they insist they are not doing. The person obsessed with proving independence may be deeply dependent on approval. The person constantly announcing that they do not care may care intensely. The person who must win every conversation tells you exactly where pressure can be applied. Notice the difference. This is not about exploiting people. It is about understanding why behavior becomes predictable when identity is at stake. Social media demonstrates this every day. One provocative comment can pull thousands of intelligent people into hours of argument because their identity has been touched. They believe they are defending an idea. Sometimes they are defending the image of themselves as someone who cannot be defeated. And once you see that pattern, the conversation stops looking like a debate. It starts looking like a psychological stage. But there is an even stranger performance happening behind the curtain. Number 4. The person who needs nothing often needs something. Here is a useful thought experiment. Imagine two people entering the same room. The first wants everyone to admire him. The second wants everyone to believe he does not need admiration. Which one is easier to control? Most people immediately choose the first, but the second may be more complicated. If your identity depends on appearing unaffected, then being ignored can become its own form of pressure. This is why detachment can sometimes become another costume for the ego. The ancient version of this problem was status. The modern version is more subtle. Today, people compete to appear successful without appearing to care about success. They display freedom, intelligence, discipline, minimalism, authenticity, even indifference. The marketplace has learned to sell identities as products. Your phone knows what you watch. Platforms know what makes you angry. Brands know which version of yourself you want to display. And yet the most fascinating part is not that companies understand desire. It is that people often cooperate with the illusion because the illusion feels good. You do not merely buy the product. You buy the story of who you become when you own it. And that brings us to the moment where the entire game changes. Number 5. A strange experiment reveals the hidden player. Imagine you are offered a choice. Nobody will ever know what you choose. No praise, no criticism, no reputation, no social consequences. You can take the honorable option, the selfish option, or anything between them. There is only one condition. You will never receive credit for being good. Now ask yourself what changes. This imaginary experiment strips away one of the strongest forces in human behavior: the audience. Suddenly, morality, generosity, courage, and sacrifice have to survive without witnesses. That is uncomfortable, because humans rarely act for one reason alone. A person can genuinely help someone and still enjoy feeling generous. A leader can genuinely serve a team and still enjoy being respected. A parent can genuinely sacrifice and still want to be appreciated. The motives can overlap. This is where simplistic psychology fails. Human beings are not either noble or selfish. They are often both at the same time. La Rochefoucauld's deeper challenge is not to prove that virtue is fake. It is to ask whether we understand our own motives as clearly as we pretend. Now imagine removing not only the audience, but your own ability to explain your behavior. What would remain?